Good morning, good morning. Good morning to everybody watching on the live
Hello.
stream. Good evening, Nancy. Good
Good
morning, Dang.
evening, Anton.
Um,
Hello, Miss Dan.
Hi, Miss
who's that?
Nancy.
Yes, and we're talking this morning about our favorite airlines, Philippine Airlines, and the culinary story of Philippine Airlines. No, and I'm so excited. We have Miss Dang to
Rayos.
talk about this.
Yes.
And we're now awesome live with, of course, the Adobo Queen as well, Nancy, streaming live from Houston, Texas. And so, if you're joining us, join us in our conversation and let's talk about the culinary story of Philippine Airlines.
If you're joining us,
Can you do a short film?
So, thank you very much.
nice.
All right. So,
Yes.
Miss Dang, maybe can we start with a short introduction of what you do for Philippine Airlines and how did the culinary story of Philippine Airlines started?
Okay, so good morning, Anton. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning to my colleagues in PAL. Thank you, Sir Bud. Thank you, Captain Stan. Thank you, Miss Rhea, for allowing me to be here in this forum. And to all my friends and family and the world. Kasi global ang reach
Of
ng
course.
Planet live stream. So, as they say, my full name is Maria Criselda Abantao Rayos. It's so long. So, I am often referred to in Philippine Airlines as just Dang, Dang. And that's the reason my children are also named after those first three letters. Anyway, I joined Philippine Airlines back in 1983, and that was straight from college. It's so like it's a new world for me because, like in the university, even if my educational background is hotel and restaurant administration, the budget is very minimal. So when I entered Philippine Airlines as a student trainee, I sort of had a shock because back in college, I don't know how to distinguish some herbs between the dill to the rosemary to the thyme and everything. And I only saw them in Philippine Airlines. So
Yeah.
just imagine how shocked I was that here comes the Swiss German executive chef and would ask me question. How come you don't know this? You should have studied this in school. Sorry. How about wines? Why can you not distinguish one wine from the another? We only have 150 pesos as budget to be able to familiarize ourselves with the wine. So that was how kawawa our batch then. But I think nowadays they would have all the budget that they have. I thank Philippine Airlines for exposing me to this world of culinary excellence because at that time Philippine Airlines was headed by a Swiss German chef, and probably everyone knows him by now because he is the owner of Santis, Chef
Yes.
Werner.
Werner Burger. How is he? I hope he's okay.
He would be a terror in the kitchen
Yes.
Ah,
because
talaga?
yeah, because
Wow.
he was very strict and
Say
he would
hello.
like
Hi, Werner.
hi, chef. And
Wanna
what
go?
I cannot forget about my encounter with him was that I had a like a practicum session at the hot kitchen, and I was tasked to do the tomato sauce. And so I was stirring the tomato sauce, and here he comes with his big bowl. And, so, what do you think of the sauce? And I said, it's a little bland, chef. And then, my goodness, why is it bland? And he called everything. Then after he left, all the chefs were looking at me. So like they felt so bad why I had to spill it out because they got the the end of Chef Burger's wrath by me saying that the tomato sauce was bland. But I learned from then na medyo hinay-hinay lang ako when I do some my assessment of whatever is being cooked in the kitchen. So that was my time. That was my introduction to Philippine Airlines, and I was still on my fourth last semester in college, and I submitted a report about the operations of Philippine Airlines.
How many
How
years
Then,
have
many
you
years
been
have
with
you
PAL?
been?
how many years? I think I am counting uh, 38.
Wow. And
I have
then,
been with the company
And then,
for the last 38 years.
and yeah, how many countries have you, destinations have you been to, flown to?
Okay, just to be safe, because I am not really consciously keeping a tab, more than 50. Pag meron siguro akong parang ano dito, frame na lalagyan ko ng dart yung mga napupuntahan ko na because of Philippine Airlines, baka mapuno ko na. But of
Wow,
course,
nice.
there are marami pa. I am only 50 out of how many countries? 200 plus or 300 plus countries in the world.
Pareho kayo ni Anton sa
Yeah.
pag-travel. Anyway, yeah, so that was your life, and then when did you start doing the menus and getting into the real deal of the culinary DNA of PAL? How would you describe that? Is it global or half Filipino? Are there international standards that all airlines have to follow?
Well, when I got into PAL, what was ingrained to me was the meal service of Philippine Airlines should meet the standard of the Chien de Rotushu, or did I pronounce it
Okay,
right?
change it
So
to
there is, yes, and since Chef Burger was a member, we have to really comply, because every now and then a person would come in and check on the menus whether it meets the standards. So with that, you would say that the general characteristic of Philippine airline meals then was French. It
Oh,
was
okay.
Western cuisine. And that's why there was a time na ang tagline for Philippine Airlines menu is Nouvelle Cuisine.
Oh yeah, oo.
More
Ganun
on
ba
that.
yun?
Yeah,
Mga
more on the French.
elitist.
Yeah, elitist in a way. And then
Hindi, pero
after,
sila Dasa rin before was French, di ba? Nag-start.
yeah,
The,
yung
sila,
restaurant
the Dasa during the
eh,
time, di ba?
kasi parang siguro during those times, considered na premium ang meal service mo if you're going into the Frenchy style of cooking. So that
Mhm.
was the bar then, and that has been practiced by Pal, and that's why after Mr. Berger's stint in Philippine Airlines, the succeeding executives were all like foreigners.
Okay.
And it was only in the year 2000 that the concept of Filipino cuisine will be introduced into the in-flight menu of PAL. It was a bold move because it wasn't considered premium then.
Uh-huh.
The Filipino cuisine has not been elevated to that kind of stature. So we thank the Department of Trade and Industry for coming up with a program called Food Festival in the Sky in the year 2000, and they introduced us to Chef Nancy, sorry, Glenda Barreto. She
Yeah.
was the durian and the ambassador of the Department of Trade and Industry. So there were recipes that they wanted introduced and also use Filipino products.
Okay. So until now, you still have Filipino dishes in the first class and business class.
We don't have anymore our first class cabin. We've maintained the business class though. So, like I was saying, so it was in 2000 that we started Filipino Food Festival in the Sky. And to our surprise, it was met with warm reception by our passengers and said, it's about time that you elevate the Filipino cuisine to global stature. And it takes a premium airline to do that. So we were
Oh, ito naman.
successful during the first 3 years of having food festival in the sky until we decided, siguro kailangan din nating i-promote din yung ating mga local chefs. Even if we have a foreign chef as executive chef of Philippine Airlines, we should also tell the world that we do have talented chefs in the local scene. So we had the first Pinoy Chef Brigade. And we thank our executive chef then, Chef Ian Mackenzie, because he was the one who convinced these chefs to join the Pinoy Chef Brigade. At that time, it was gratis et amore, our engagement with them. So we had then Fernando Aracama, Jay Gamboa, Bad Trinidad, Gino Gonzalez, and Gino Gonzalez. So the first time we did that, we indicated on our menu card that we are tapping the talents and the dishes of these people, and we really had positive remarks from our passengers.
Okay.
So
Now,
Go ahead, Po.
now you spoke about passengers. I'm sure you had the privilege of flying with the celebrities in flight. Kasi national carrier ang PAL. Can you name some?
Okay, because we are chartered by the Philippine government to fly the highest officer of the land during state visits. So I remember preparing menus for President Aquino, Corazon Aquino, then FBR, then followed by GMA, then Mr. Estrada, then we had GMA again. GMA I mentioned already. Then Pinoy, and now we have Mr. Duterte. But of course, the highlight of my service to these heads of state, I would consider the head of the Vatican as the most unforgettable experience.
What did he eat?
Anong kwento?
Ang kwento with the Pope. Okay, when we got the message from the Vatican organizer that we have to prepare food for him, they gave us the freedom, or gave me the freedom to write the menu. So what I thought of then was I will feature dishes that had been very popular among the presidents. So I did that. But there was one, like, at point where I have to plan for the snack service. Sabi ko, gusto kaya niya ng Arroz Caldo? Or gusto kaya niya ng dinuguan? Then when I was writing it, sabi niya, hala, hindi pwede dinuguan, because namimili ng tao yan. Who would, they might feel, uneasy with eating dinuguan. But I read through the life of the Pope, and they have a similar dish. So I completed the menu and submitted it to Vatican. They returned the menu without a change, meaning to say, agree sila doon. And when finally we were able to serve that dish, I asked the crew, or the crew who was in charge of serving the Pope, and he said, "Dam, limas." Sabi ko, where is the bowl? Where is the bowl? I was like, ayan, kita mo, may natira pa ba dyan? Walang natira. He ate everything.
That's nice. Very nice. Also, si naman, Pinoy. Everybody misses him now. How was he as a passenger?
It was very easy. Easy in a way na we barely get complaints about food from him. Kasi kahit I would plan for the best menu I know so far, i-load ko ng load, I would be given a feedback na hindi siya kumain dang eh. Sabi ko, anong kinain niya? Kinain niya yung barbecue na binalot ni Yaya, tsaka yung dish.
Talaga?
There was one time nga in Canberra, I was parang I got a message in midnight. Sabi niya, dang, kailangan mag-prepare ka kasi gusto ni boss burger at saka ano daw, croissant na merong mga ham. So, because the flight was very early, 3:00 pa lang, bihis na kami ng kasama ko, went to the kitchen and we made everything para maihanda yung croissant with the cheese and the ham and the everything. And then when after the flight, tinanong ko, kinain ba niya? Hindi dang eh. Bakit? Nagpa-order siya ng burger doon sa McDonald's sa tabi ng hotel. Yun ang kinain niya. Naman, sabi ko, napuyat ako lahat para i-prepare yun. Hindi na naman pala niya nakain. And pag mga malalayong mga flights, I think he is happy just having his regular Coke and chips. So I make sure that I would have a big box of chips at saka several cases of regular Coke. Para anytime he asks for it, meron sir. And then if he would like during the lull, he would walk down through the back of the aircraft kasi doon lang po ang pwesto naming mga aliping sa gigilid. Doon kami sa back of the aircraft where we have all our supplies. So he would walk around and just say, oh, kamusta kayo dyan? He would be bringing his boss na speaker because he would be listening to music. He loves music. And then by listening to the music, he would drink. With listening to the music, he would drink his Coke and eat his chips. And then he would, tell stories. So, naaaliw lang kami with his stories because he would tell stories about, meron daw siyang nabiling Betamax machine na bagong-bago daw.
What happened?
Start laughing. Hindi namin nakuha yung joke. Magtitingin na kami, should we laugh? Pero most of the time naman nagigets namin yung joke niya. But those are light moments with him and we miss him.
Pero may kunento ka sa akin before. You said there was a time you were flying to Russia during kay Duterte yata. And then you had to go back. You just landed in Russia and then you had to fly back to Manila. Ano ba 'yon?
Yes,
remember
that was
that
the
episode?
Marawi Siege. Yun yung Marawi Siege.
Okay.
Kararating lang namin sa Russia immediately after, because when you reach a certain destination, pag ang crew nag-deplane na, nakaka-rest na sila sa hotel. We in catering, mga aliping sa gigilid, we have to make sure that all our equipment are offloaded. We make sure that the aircraft is clean after the cleaners have done. Actually, hindi namin trabaho yun sa catering, but we commiserate with our colleagues sa airport who is in charge of doing that. Pag hindi namin sila tinulungang makatapos, hindi rin kami makakaalis doon sa aircraft. So, tulong kami pagpapalit ng mga pillowcases, ng mga blankets and everything para lang maisara na ang aircraft. Then we can go to the hotel. So, we arrived Russia 12 midnight. Nakaalis kami ng airport mag-aalas 5 na. So, back to the hotel, talagang eclipse kami just to catch our sleep, but we have to go to the caterer to discuss the menu for our flight after several days of the state visit. So after our meeting with the caterer, we went back to the hotel and said, my colleague said, sipatin nga muna natin yung mga spots na pwede nating dalawin bukas so that we will know kung ano yung i-explore namin. So lakad-lakad kami. So on our way back, approaching the hotel, we saw na, uy, may iba pa bang Philippine Airlines crew na pumunta dito? Kasi naka-uniforme na sila with all their luggages. Tapos lapit kami, hey, saan kayo pupunta? Miss Tang, bakit ngayon lang kayo bumalik? Uwi na tayo ng Pilipinas. Ha? Look at us. I would like to go back to my room and sleep dahil kulang nga ako sa tulog. But they said, no, we have to live as in now. Ala, kuha na lang ng mga damit, ganyan-ganyan. Tawag sa caterer, please load whatever you have. We are flying back to the Philippines.
Because of that, President Duterte was with you. He flew back.
Yes, because nga of what happened in Marawi, that it was decided that we will fly back. So
Well,
that was
very,
our
very
situation. So sabi ko, wag na exciting and stressful. Nakiusap na lang ako
So,
sa
ano
mga
ang
pasero.
favorite niya? Anong favorite
Nino
niya
po.
ni President?
President who po?
Duterte.
Who among
Duterte.
them? Ni Duterte. He likes simple food, so we make sure na may baon kaming paksiw na bangus or any paksiw na isda. At meron din kaming ginataang munggo. Because he's not the type who would go for the steak or any premium ingredient na dish. So, and
galing
then
niya.
meron din kaming tinatawag naming magic box. It's a big box containing all the chichirya na pwede niyang hingin.
Yun.
Pero
happiness.
kahit may na-prepare na kaming ganyang magic box, makikita pa rin namin yung mga PSG, may dala ding isang parang, yun yung plastic na box, full of chichirya din. So namin, pero buti na yung sobra.
Yeah.
Mga
Behave ba
gusto-
siya? He's a behave passenger? Ay, sorry. Is he a behave passenger?
Si
Duterte, si President Duterte. Behave ba siya? I think we're having a little ayun.
video yan I think he sleeps most of the time pag nasa aircraft and would wake up to get some food, pero yung tipong familiar lang sa kanya. So I would not expect to get feedback that he loves the lobster thermidor or he loves the kasi hindi naman niya yung kakainin.
Gusto yata niya tapa. Yung dun sa tapa.
Yeah, beef tapa, may lulod din kami ng dinuguan. I would like to share that there is a dish we call presidential dinuguan. It started
Ano yun?
during the time of ERAP. We load dinuguan. Then suddenly the members of the cabinet found it very interesting and they like it. So dati, we only load like 2 tubs of the dinuguan intended only for the front cabin. But everybody else wants it. So the next flight, we extended the provision to include the other cabins as well. Hanggang nagiging must-have na siya. Or tawag namin must-ride. Hindi pwedeng may menu ka for the president na walang dinuguan. And this dinuguan is the recipe of Chef Willie Kilatan. So everybody raves about it. Kaya hindi na talaga siya natanggal from any presidential flights na I was brave enough to put it on the menu for the Pope at hindi naman ako nagkamali dahil nagustuhan din niya.
Baka kasi sinabi mo, Pope, this is chocolate sauce. So,
I think Chef Nance may similar dish sa Argentina. Making use of yung blood. Kaya it's not foreign to him.
Wala naman sa iyong naging conflict with any presidential food or samba, meron ba? Wala naman. All your presidents were happy with the cooking and all.
Meron lang isang particular incident, but probably it was triggered by parang mga incidents prior to the flight.
So not really about
kasi parang nagkaroon ng stressful situation in where was that, in Thailand, when the gathering of all the heads of state was threatened by the rally of the red shirt and the yellow shirt and everything. So we flew from Manila to Thailand, and we landed in a military air base. But the venue of the gathering was in Pattaya. So we were supposed to leave for Dubai 3 days after. So I wasn't very pressured to make a catering arrangement because I still have 3 days. But like getting our food will not be coming from the locality of Pattaya. I have to get it all the way from Bangkok, which is about 2 to 3 hours drive. But we did that. We went to Bangkok, made all the necessary arrangement. Then suddenly that emergency situation happened. So parang because of the emergency, we have to fly out of Bangkok without any new food loaded for the flight. We flew to Dubai, and that's a 7 hour
Layo nun,
flight.
no? Layo.
And we didn't have anything dahil yung in-order kong pagkain from Bangkok, pagdating niya sa airport, nag-take off na kami.
Okay.
So, probably that situation, nagkaroon na ng mindset. And then when there's something wrong with the flight, bakit? Who's in charge of this? Who's in charge of that? So, when we left, na-stress na siya. So, when we left Dubai, where wala nga kaming gamit, I had to borrow from Emirates. Nasabi ko, tataya ko ang buhay ko at saka puri ko kung may mawawala dyan sa mga hiniram kong mga equipment.
Okay.
But
Miss
they were
Dan.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes po.
May question ako. I've always wanted to ask nga, you mentioned already presidential dinuguan, di ba? The story. Of course, you need to tell us the story of Arroz Caldo. And ano pa ba yung mga sought after dishes in Philippine Airlines? But tell us first about Arroz Caldo. Paano ba nag-start yan? Sino ba, may recipe ba talaga yan? Paano ba nangyari yan?
Actually, I have relayed this also to the others who were asking, ano ba talaga ang kwento ni Arroz Caldo? I think the Arroz Caldo happened bago pa ako dumating sa Philippine Airlines. I think there was a time na PAL was beset with so many operational problems na delay dito, delay dyan, and ganyan. So, passengers were already parang raging mad. So, to be able to appease, especially the first class and business class passenger, we had a vice president then, si Mr. Martin Bonoan, who ordered catering under Mrs. Valera then, na mag-serve ng Arroz Caldo sa lounge.
Mm-hmm.
To appease them.
Yeah.
Tapos, so, from then, nang matikman ng mga ay, masarap. Oh, then they said, why don't you serve it on board? So, naging standard fare na siya sa mid-flight refreshment ng Philippine Airlines to have Arroz Caldo as a choice. So, dun siya nag-umpisa. But the original recipe went through a lot of modifications. Kasi, bawat isang tao may sariling version. Kasi, sabihin nila, it's not the same as what my lola made it. Ganon. Or, it's not the same as what I had in the hotel. So we will send the chef of that hotel to teach you how to do your Arroz Caldo. So, siyempre, oo ka lang naman ng oo. Boss sila eh, di ba? So, we tried. We explored. We gave it the benefit of the doubt. So, we tweaked the Arroz Caldo recipe and loaded on the flight. Mga pasahero ang nag-complain. No, it's not the same. It's not the same. So, we had to go back to the original Arroz Caldo recipe. So, who made the recipe? So, if it started in the 70s, I would give credit to then the Filipino chefs of the PAL Kitchen, sina Mang Leon, sina Chef Samson, and all the others nung panahon nila. Kasi sila yung foundation ng
I hope they're listening now.
Not sure nga kung alive pa sila eh.
I'm sure if they are there.
Yeah. But Chef Willie Kilatan protege siya nung mga nauna sa kanya. So, sa yung mga nagdaang panahon, ang remnant na lang si Chef Willie, and he made that presidential dinuguan.
Mhm. Ayan. Meron Anton, there's a question here from Marinong, saan na? There was a question posted.
Mhm.
Did you read it, Anton? Anton? Ayun. Hello, chefs. Long time no see, watching from Florida. From
Hindi, ano lang,
Marinong
nagsisay hi lang
Cusinero.
siya. He's saying hi from Florida.
Yeah. Hi.
Oh.
Hello. Anyway.
O marami sa mga previous chefs ng PAL ang
Oo.
globally scattered na rin. Yeah.
Ang dami mo ng experience. Now comes the pandemic. How did PAL survive?
How did
This,
PAL
or
survive?
how is PAL coping with this?
Okay. So, when pandemic struck, the flights were canceled. We went to the office, and then suddenly our people sa floor would tell us, "Ma'am, we have 14,000 snacks that are due to expire in 30 days. We have soft drinks that are due to expire in this, but we don't have a flight operation. Where can we use it?" So we have several items, and from that situation, nanganak yung tinatawag namin ngayong SOTEX, soon to expire. And we deliberated kung anong magiging disposition namin for those items. So in the beginning, we were donating it to frontliners. So you would see, we would send boxes of cookies to PGH, to Chinese General Hospital, to even to the military Air Force base and everywhere, para lang how do you call this, masalvage, mapakinabangan before siya mag-expire. Because even if you want to use it, load it on the flight, wala namang flight. Or even if you want to eat it, how can you eat 14,000 pieces of cookies in 30 days? So might as well mapakinabangan siya. So since the time in March up to the present, we decided nga pala to sell also at least 50% of our acquisition cost, yung mga soft drinks namin, mga juices namin, and all of that. So rather than be at a loss dahil hindi mo na nga magamit, we were able to recover 50% of the acquisition cost.
That's
so,
good.
Yeah, sabi ko nga sa mga, bossing, pwede ba kaming mag-profit sharing sa mga nabenta naming SOTEX.
But still, Lucio Tan was si Kapitan ang he was still the one on top.
At the helm.
Yes.
He's not active very recently. He's leaving it to the daughter and whoever are the professional managers that were hired to take care of Philippine Airlines. But I guess for really very important decisions, siya pa rin ang
Yeah, pero how is he as a passenger? Did he ever try to sit in the economy na anonymous?
Ay, palagi. And even Lucio Tan Jr. would also insist na ibigay mo sa akin yung pagkain ng economy.
Mm-hmm.
If they're seated in economy, gusto niyang tikman yun lahat. Or if it's seated in business class, gusto niyang tikman yung pagkain sa economy. I think they're the people who do not demand that they are given parang special treatment. But of course, we knew, or we have already advanced parang instruction, if the chairman is on board, dapat meron kami at his disposal skyflake crackers, saging na Cavendish, at saka congee na hindi kagaya ng Arroz Caldo, which is ginger free.
Okay. Imagine Anton, all these intricacies that you think that the celebs are so choosy, and yet they're so down to earth. Also, you find out, skyflakes. Okay,
yes, skyflakes, yes.
Yeah. Well, maybe in the long service.
May question ako, Miss Dang. I have a question.
Go ahead po.
I have a question lang. Since we're talking about COVID, di ba they say that you guys adjust the food because when you're above, kailangan mas salty. Now, during COVID, may adjustment ba? Or pag may nagsabi pang walang lasa yung pagkain, parang may another protocol there. Can you tell us the story, any adjustments? And if it's true,
Okay.
if you adjust it for more saltiness?
In-flight dining during the pandemic is more or less parang governed by safety protocols. We have to modify our meal service to be able to reduce the engagement of the crew to the food and to the passengers. So yung if you are used to a meal service that the crew would bring it to you with several trips, course by course, it cannot be done during the pandemic because nga of that requirement that we should reduce, limit, or even uh, remove totally engagement of the crew with the passengers. Kasi yung contact nga can lead to transmission of the disease. So what happened was we modified our business class service. Instead of one by one, we gave it in one tray. And everything is sealed,
Uh,
parang individually packed. That's why it's very difficult now to balance what is considered a safety requirement and what passengers are also expecting. Kasi some passengers are not really probably hindi priority sa kanila yung safety. They wanted more the niceties of an in-flight service that they are used to with the fare that they paid for business class. So, yun yung dilemma namin actually ngayon. How can we balance it? Na ma-present namin yung food the way they expect the food to be presented, or they are more conscious about how safe the food is na untouched by human hands bago dalhin sa kanila.
So what's the decision?
We are, that's a work in progress now. And the way we're doing it is we have to do some benchmarking. How far have the other, kasi at the onset, all other airlines are doing it. But like almost 2 years, magto 2 years na since that happened. Some airlines have already like slowly modified their meal service to relax all these safety protocols. So we're also in progress doing that, and we plan to introduce changes to our menus from what we call the new normal to the next normal. Is yung adjustment na gagawin namin in how the food will be presented to passengers.
So what's gonna happen when all these balikbayans are there? Are you expecting the same number of balikbayans coming home for Christmas to the Philippines?
That is what we want to. Unfortunately, our capacity to carry passengers are also affected by local regulations. Like they would put a cap to the number of passengers that they sorry, they can accept in Manila. Like there was a time na 700 lang ang pwedeng tanggapin ng NAIA for passengers coming overseas. So one aircraft can accommodate 300 plus. So meaning to say hanggang 2 flights ka lang bawat araw. So doon how do you call this? Doon nadadapa ang mga airline. When you mount a flight, ang dami mong gagastusin to have to pay the crew, you have to pay the fuel, you have to pay for the lease of the aircraft, you have the food also, the equipment and the supplies and everything. Then suddenly, hanggang 300 lang or hanggang 150 lang ang pwede mong liparin. So, if you calculate how much the total revenue you get from that particular flight, lugi ka pa.
Yeah.
So,
I guess maraming airlines naman nalugi talaga.
Mhm.
So you're
Pero mahaba kasi PC nila, Chef Nance. Unlike sa Philippine Airlines, talagang nawala kayo, Chef. Ayun.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. But you Pal got an award, di ba? To the standard. I remember when I was there, you were celebrating or di ba there was
Yes.
Before pandemic to, di ba?
a certain
Tama ba?
strata.
Pre-pandemic. That's correct. Pre-pandemic. Pre-pandemic. In the early 2000, before we even heard about Skytrax,
Oh,
PAL
start.
was rated as a 3-star should work for a higher ranking. And we started doing that in the year 2017 to 2018, where we were elevated to 4-star. We got the award on the most improved airline, the best cabin crew, and several awards. So in 2019, we were already gearing to get the 5 stars. So with all the pandemic and then of course the changes in the management structure, we have to shelve our dream of getting the 5 star. Kasi actually, nandun na kami. Comparing the assessment of Skytrax prior to us working on it, lahat ng mga ratings nila sa amin below 3. 3 or nandun lang sa border na yun.
Mm.
When they first assess us to just to kung asa na bang level namin, the assessment was between 4 to 4.5. 3.5 to 4. Kaya we were awarded the 4-star ranking. Then in 2019, wala na kaming below 3, 4 and above na. So meaning to say, may
Galing.
fighting chance kami to get the 5-star. But this happened, so we have to
It will
shelve.
happen.
Yeah, we're hoping, we're keeping our hopes high that
Yeah.
go lang.
Food quality ba is part of it or just service lang?
Included po ang food quality. You would be surprised kung gaano ka-detailed yung mga Skytrax auditor in determining the assessment for canapes, the bread, the condiments, the salad, the entrees, the amount of sauce and the amount of protein. Lahat yun, very detailed yung assessment ng mga Skytrax auditors.
What about you? Your culinary DNA. Who
My
is
culinary.
Dang the foodie?
Well, when I joined Philippine Airlines, very confident kasi ano bang mai-contribute ng isang batang galing ng Marbel, Coronadal, South Cotabato, and come up with menus intended for the global travelers. So yun yung aking how do you call this how do you term that, yung aking give me a term, Chef Nancy, nawawala ako.
Aspiration.
Deficiency. Ayun, parang sa feeling ko, yun yung pagkukulang ko. How can I be able to come up with menus na para pang jet setters, pang elite, when my culinary DNA
Was challenge. Na-challenge yung culinary DNA mo.
Oo nga.
Yeah. Pati ngayon, na-challenge tayo sa internet. Sorry, Dad.
I grew up eating apan-apan, kadyos, nilaga, mga laswa, and everything. So that's what my dish, my normal menu is. So kaya I have that parang insecurity na paano po ngayon, how can I plan for the elite? So studying in college, while it gave me some boost, but it wasn't enough. So what made it enough? It was exposure, researching, like watching TV, reading books, and I'm very
Travel.
thankful that through the years, marami nang available sa net, marami nang mga available na and then I got to
I'm sure with traveling
successful
also with that.
people
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
opened really the doors for me to be more adventurous in with different dishes that will come my way.
Who do
So
you think
nabago na rin.
who inspired you in your midlife career to be to ano the Filipino food to promote, or who inspired you to be more culinary, to search your culinary DNA? Meron bang in your mid career, meron bang somebody who affected your and shaped you, or nakaano ka na, you were already defined in what you wanted and what your palate?
Siguro, not really a person, but probably that deep-seated desire sa akin to make a difference in anything that I do. So if I was assigned to come up with menus for Philippine Airlines, how can I make a difference? So
Mm-hmm.
nagkaroon ng opportunity when sinabi, I can make a difference by not really following blindly or strictly na dapat French cuisine lang ang pwedeng maging bongga for an airline menu. So when there was a chance to introduce Filipino cuisine with the Food Festival in the Sky, so it was our initiative to also give the focus and the limelight to the Filipino chefs para globally they will also be recognized sa kanilang mga talents and skills, and without being um, having a disservice to our foreign executive chefs in PAL catering, ang talagang backbone or yung talagang kalabaw sa paggawa ng mga iconic dishes sa Philippine Airlines, they're not the foreign chefs,
They're
but
the Filipino crew.
sila yung mga Filipino chefs na where did the Arroz Caldo come from? Of course, they're not from the foreign chefs. Where did the dinuguan come from? And all the other dishes that really nagkaroon ng tatak sa mga pasahero natin, beef tenderloin, steak Filipino, mga what else are this? Yung manok sa tanglad, chicken inasal, and all those. Hindi foreign chefs ang gumawa nun, kundi yung mga Pilipino. So that parang boosted my desire to make a difference by promoting Filipino cuisine sa in-flight meal service. And we also added the promotion of Filipino products on the in-flight menu. So dito pumasok yung mango chocolate, yung mga dried mango, yung mga Oro chocolates, on all Filipino products that our passengers in the venue, what are these? But once they started tasting it, they said, oh, made in the Philippines pala ito. And it's something na I felt good because I was able to help local manufacturers here in the Philippines to be recognized. So, and we even presented it to the Department of Tourism kay Miss Puyat. Ano ang bang full name niya? Naku, pasensya na po. But we presented to
Berna,
her,
Berna.
Berna, na we are also parang aligning promote the Philippines through the Filipino product. So we showed her how we were doing it through the gourmet tuyo, the bangus sardines, and all the other Filipino food products that we promote on board the aircraft.
What's the most challenging flight when it comes to food? Manila, LA, Manila, Dubai, Manila, anong pinaka-challenging? Like, let's say, the choosy, people become choosy, the passengers are choosy, or meron bang ganon?
I would consider our long haul routes, which is the bread and butter of Philippine Airlines, yung USA, Canada routes namin in business class, because that's where we get most of the feedback that we should come up with really customer satisfying menus, but also considering that it should also be friendly to our budget. Because at the end of the day, our bosses will say, "Oh, how much is this menu?"
At the end of the
Yung
day,
menus, but at the price. Yes.
mhm, mhm. Again, the menus, you said.
The menus, other than being customer satisfying, should also be budget requirement satisfying.
Uh, requirement.
Oo naman,
Okay.
dapat lang.
Okay, before we proceed, we'll say hi to the people commenting. No? Si Ron Oropeo,
Hi, Sir
merong
Ron!
Palyanihan.
Yeah.
Palyanihan. Meron pa
Bayanihan,
nagagaling
yeah.
Ron is a customer service, a cabin service manager in Philippine Airlines. They manage the crew performance, and I want to thank him because he is our top grosser in terms of selling our pal food to go items, yung Arroz Caldo and the Champurrado. Thank you, Ron. Please continue to
Thank you,
support.
Ron. Yeah. Yan pa, may isa pa.
We have Nico Magsalin. Hi, Miss Lang.
Yes.
All the way
Nico is
from
a
PAL
trainer.
Training.
Yes. Thank you, Sir Nico. Ang galing-galing magsalita niya ni Sir Nico. Really a very good
Rainier
trainer.
Bautista. Proud
Ay, yes, Sir
Coronadaleños. Yun pala ang tawag.
Oo, taga Coronadal. Hi, Rainier. Good luck sa iyong organic farms, and I hope you will produce more vegetables to feed our kababayans dyan sa Coronadal.
And then we have Polymar. Hello.
Ay, kapitbahay ko yan dito sa multinational village, si Kuya Polly. But he is a top-notch auditor. Isa siya, meron siyang tag name dito sa aming village. Siya ay member ng Barakos.
Mag-hello na rin kami doon sa the members of the Parake. Since we both come from Parañaque and we formed the club and we call it Parake. So, hello.
Parake.
Yeah, meron pang isa kanina, Mr. Tayag Ong.
Yes.
Janet.
Janet Tayag is our how do you call this? The lady warrior of our village. She fights yung mga abusado sa power in our village single-handedly. Thank you, Miss Janet. Karen one, yes.
So how often are you home and how often are you on the air?
Ngayon, since the pandemic, 0% na on the air.
Okay. But the flights, paano na? Are they all back or half or ano na?
If I'm not mistaken, compared to our pre-pandemic operation, we're only, I think, between 30 to 40% of our previous operation.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm sure it will improve soon. Sooner than that. Yes. Yes. Anyway, Anton, meron ka pa ba? Kasi ako may tatanong . Yung mga local naman na Filipino celebrities, sino-sino yan? At saka ano ba sila? Are they
yan ang
Kuliray? Or simple? Or anonymous? Or nagpapalate?
Merong mga ganun. But of course, kung operation naman ng flight ang hindi naman ako ang may control doon. So it only affects me pag pagkain na ang pinag-uusapan. So we have a recent incident na mukhang hindi nagustuhan ng aming business class passenger who is a celebrity yung na-order niyang pagkain. So we're looking into it, maaaring valid yung kanyang concern, and we are thankful to them for giving us feedback. Pero she also said something nice, and it's the Arroz Caldo. She said that it's the reason why she takes Philippine Airlines, it's because of the Arroz Caldo. So thank you din po.
Okay. All right.
I have one thing to share pala. We also started selling our champorado. And because of the victory of Heidelin Diaz
Yes.
sa Olympics, so when she came back home, we decided to give her sample boxes of our champorado, and we sort of like wanted to name it after her, but of course due to technical reasons we cannot immediately do that, but we told her that from now on we are going to refer to the dish as champ in capital letters and orado,
Yeah, oh, tama. Champ.
in recognition
Galing.
of what she had accomplished for after so many years na nawala. And then she posted a video on YouTube wherein sa last part ng video niya sabi niya, "Oh, I want to try the Heidelin Diaz champorado," and she loves it, so okay naman sa kami. We're okay with that na she will remember that champorado in one way was parang named as Champ Orado because of her.
Eh, yung mga foreign entertainers, meron na bang ano? Did Frank Sinatra ever ride Philippine Airlines or the Beatles, diba? They did.
Miss Nancy, wala pa ako sa PAL nung lumipad sila. And
Oo
besides,
na.
pag itong mga like celebrities taking our commercial flight, hindi naman first hand ang aking exposure kasi nandito lang kami sa ground. It's the crew who would really have the first hand experience dealing with them. Yun lang nasi-share ko yung ako mismo on board, that I'm able to be part of the crew. Hindi flight crew kasi baka biglang sabihin nila anong karapatan ko maging flight crew, I cannot even reach the topmost galley location sa galley. So yun lang na, but when it deals with the catering provisions, akin yan or sa akin yan.
Okay.
I'm sure you should write a book.
Oo nga. So,
Yes,
may last question ako, but let's acknowledge Debbie muna. No? Debbie said, listening to you.
oh, Miss Nancy, you know Miss Debbie. Friendship.
Hi, Miss Debbie. Yeah.
Good thing. Yeah.
Yes. Debbie
Watching.
naman is our partner in crime when thinking about in-flight service for Philippine Airlines. So sila yung marketing side, kami naman yung how do you call this, manggagawa. Kaming taga-operationalize ng mga iisipin nilang concepts sa product and everything. So that's
Miss
Debbie.
Lang, so over the years, how would you describe the Filipino Culinary DNA of PAL and even moving forward in a post-pandemic scenario?
Okay, it's a living thing. Nag-i-evolve, constantly evolving. But like if the DNA means these are the genetic instructions that defines the characteristic of a person, sa PAL naman, a menu is defined by its food service policy. May mga guidelines na dapat sundin, not because we just wanted it to, but because it is dictated by the operational restriction. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-serve ng lechon kasi wala kang paglalagyan ng lechon. Anything should fit into the trolley of the aircraft. And since yung process kasi ng pagluluto for in-flight catering requires that you should do it 24 hours before the flight for cold and 48 hours for hot, and you should cold soak it in the chiller for at least 4 hours, you are limited with the choices. And then you are also restricted by the kind of aircraft that will be used. Kung yung aircraft mo, konti lang yung space for galley, you cannot load so many things. And then there's also the restriction na pag wala kang caterer at your point of destination, then you have to modify your loading para dala mo yung pagkain both ways. And meaning to say, pagkakasyahin mo siya with a limited space. And then, yung amin na lang probably na specify or to suit to the individual preferences of our passengers, we do route-specific entree selection. So kung papunta ng China, we put in Chinese dishes. Pag pupunta ng Japan, we have Japanese dishes and so on and so forth. So doon kami naglalaro.
Okay. Parang I want to fly again. I wish.
Oo nga eh.
Yeah.
Ilodan kita ng champurado, Chef Nancy, pag lumipat.
Hindi, pareho kayo ni Anton. You have traveled to so many places already. That's very nice. Yeah, experience.
Pero Miss Tang, quick question din. Are still a lot of people not eating throughout the entire flight now during this period na may corona? Kasi 'di ba may iba ayaw na magtanggal ng mask or ng shield or hindi naman?
There are people who probably is so used to it and tired of it. Sila yung mga tipong bihasa ng travelers, and sometimes they would skip the meal and just slip it off. Pero meron ka pa rin passengers who would get value for their money. So kung nagbayad sila ng $3,000 for a business class seat, they will demand that they will get everything. That they have to sulitin nila every single dollar that they paid for the flight.
Can you give an example of a business class meal?
Okay, a business class meals pre-pandemic, meron kang starters. Sa starters mo, you get to have your welcome drink, your amuse-bouche, yung canapes mo. Then you have a choice whether you'll have soup or a cold plate. So yun yung nag-comprise ng aming starters. Then you get into the mains. You have 4 options of mains. Option 1 will be a Filipino dish. Option 2 will be a Western. 3 Asian, and the 4th one will be a chef specialty. Then you go to the ending. Your endings will come in the form of a dessert. You can have a cheese bowl. You can have ice cream, premium ice cream. Dati Häagen-Dazs. Pero ngayon, Carmen's Best na. It's more premium than Häagen-Dazs. And lastly, of course, your coffee. That's a business class hot meal. For breakfast, we start off, of course, with the coffee and the energizers to perk you up and awaken you from your deep slumber. And then we have we serve you with a fruit platter. You have the option to eat it together with your granola. Our granola is also locally made, pili and pino from Cebu. And what else do we have here? We also have 4 choices of entrees for breakfast, and then we have what we call the Filipino breakfast side dishes. So these are the gourmet tuyo and the bangus sardines. This is a welcome for Filipinos, but it is strange and yucky for the Westerners. But there are Westerners who are curious, and if they are the adventurous type, what is this gourmet toyo? And our crew would explain to them why is it a very like important side dish for Filipinos, especially during breakfast.
That's okay. That's good.
All right. Galing, Miss Dang. Thank you for sharing. No, siguro we'll ask you for your final message. Not unless si Nancy may final question, but we'll pull up TJ Filipinas comment. No, sabi niya, I'm a witness to Dang's dedication to promote Filipino cuisine. We even had laing demonstration in their kitchen. All right.
Yes. Hello, Miss TJ. Miss TJ is also one of the stalwarts here in our village. Ang aming laban para sa corruption. She's one of the pillars of our movement here in the village. Thank you, Miss TJ. And yes, Miss TJ shared with us the recipe of her mother, yung laing nga. So they had cooking demo, which every now and then we would have sa in-flight center. Chef Nancy was also part of that process where we invite people to give a cooking demo. Si Ching Lilian also did a demo for us. And there were others who are very much willing to share their knowledge sa Pal Kitchen chefs.
Hindi ba Aristocrat Barbecue rin went on in-flight?
Yes po. And hopefully, sana bumalik. And whatever things that need to be done, sana magawa na natin, Chef Nancy. Because we actually did a survey, Chef Nancy, and talagang the records would show the Filipinos love aristocrat, and it
Thank
was
you.
revealed by the survey.
I
Of
think it's part
course.
of kasi it's part of being a comfort food when you're in, when you're in flight, you want comfort You want to feel like part of the home. Pero masyado ng baka over promotion na yan. We just want what is your own favorite, what is the next dish that you want to promote? If ever na you will have a new
Yes.
menu. You said you are entering the another quarter where you will have a new menu. Pwede bang i-preview yon or
What to expect?
oo,
May secret menu ba yan? May secret
meron?
menu?
Actually, I have given the templates to our corporate chef, si Chef Noel Ramos, and even Chef Willie, and to all the other members of our team to do some research. We will consolidate all recommendations until the end of August. Then we will make a selection. I'm hoping also that Miss Dedet, the Lechon Diva, will be able to share also some of her dishes that we can also feature on the menu. But it's not easily like translated into the in-flight
Hirap.
menu. We have to make some modification dahil sa restrictions for in-flight service. But we are very open. The whole month of August will be really hard work for us to finally to have a selection of these dishes that we will introduce in December.
So
All right.
I hope those who are planning to ride PAL will already get excited about the new menus that will be coming up,
Oo
especially
nga.
pagdating ng the December, di ba?
Yes. If I may share that the survey that we did, passengers said they want to try the Filipino classic na beef tenderloin steak Filipino, which is the recipe of a former hot kitchen chef sa PAL, Rafael Valerio. Mangapeng, if you're listening, yun po yung number one selection sa ating survey. If they were when they were asked kung ano yung PAL classic that they wanted to try again, and number one yung beef tenderloin steak Filipino.
Last
Wow.
question, what about the drinks? Meron ba tayong Filipino mixology drinks dyan?
Well, we tried what we call the Mabuhay Punch. The Mabuhay Punch is like an iced tea flavored with four seasons na nilagyan namin ng dried mango bits, and it was a hit when we introduced it to our flights. We're slowly putting them back, yung mga signature welcome drinks natin, and we're also trying to discover new concoctions in partnership with Tanduay and Asia Brewery, and with all the products they have. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Nice. All right. So final message, but before you, may nanonood sa Huntsville, Alabama. I've been here one time. But
Oh, that's
being
my
Ryan,
sister. My sister Red. Thank you for the support.
and Malen from
Yes.
Huntsville, Alabama. We're gonna
Yes.
just
Malen.
Malen studied baking with Chef Prats, I think, here in Manila. And now she's making a killing there in Huntsville, Alabama, with the cakes that she bakes. Talagang ang galing-galing, Malen. Malen, more power. Bake more
Alright.
cakes.
Yes. So, Miss Dang, any final message to everybody and invite everybody to fly by PAL?
Yes, during this time, we know it's very challenging, but Philippine Airlines will try its damnest best to give you the service that you deserve and you desire. So we also wanted to get your understanding and support that we cannot do this alone. There are so many factors that affect our trying to get up. But if, like you, the madlang people of the world, will continue to patronize us and help us through these difficult times, the doors will not close, and we will continue to fly.
That's good.
Philippine Airlines.
Yes. And Philippine Airlines will continue to keep you because you're the one behind the menus that will make people happy on board.
Yeah. Not only me lang naman, Chef Nance,
And
there are a
all
lot
the
of
people
side
supporting you.
unsung heroes that
Yeah.
are actually doing it.
Yeah, maybe you can mention their names. You see, Mr. Willie, the
Chef Willie
MD.
Dilatan,
Yeah.
Alan
Hello.
Garcia, Noel Ramos, and then all the other minions there in the kitchen. And of course, our friends, especially Fernando Aracama, who contributed so many dishes that really made a mark in our menu. Glenda Barreto, Jessie Sensioco, Mirna Sigismundo, Gil Sandique, and all the others who help us in our journey. And of course, Miss Chef Nancy Reyes Lumen, who was also very unselfish in giving her time and also snippets of her knowledge to Philippine Airlines and my people in food planning and standards.
We
Thank
love
you.
Pal. Pal always loved.
Yes, thank you, Chef Nancy.
All right. Thank you so much. And if you
Yes.
guys, please share this with your family and friends who wanted to watch this on replay. Thank you
And
so
may
much, Miss
replay yan.
Oo, of
Mhm.
course. And I wanted to fly na. Tuloy sa lahat ng mga
Man!
tinang. Gusto ko makita yung magic box, yung dinuguan, yung
Oo.
chocolate.
Pang presidential flight lang yun, Anton.
Oo nga,
Papaimbita ka.
alam ko.
Papaimbita ka sa Malacanang. Kasi ikaw magiging curator or how do you call this, biographer or taga-record kung anong mga kaganapan.
Go, Anton! Go and fly!
All
Yes.
right.
So, thank you
Alright.
very much for
Thank
this
you very
opportunity to share. Thank you, Chef Nancy, Sir
Maraming
Anton, and
salamat.
everyone. Thank you po.
Can you do a short film? Wait, can we have a photo? Wala pala tayong photo.
Anton, ang ganda ng bago mong At least you